Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Greetings,
my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. My microphones are all messed up here. So, how's it going? It's Litany, Devman NL, Tagaron is here. How's it going? It's Sunday the 15th, isn't it? December 15th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. Yeah, Stelzy's here. Hello. I'm kind of excited because I've been spending more time thinking about and working with these Blazor components. Tagaron!
Tagaron1 just resubscribed for 21 months.
21 months, almost 2 years. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And
Steelty79 just resubscribed for 14 months.
Thank you so much, Stelzy. I appreciate that. We're going to make donations to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for those two and pay it forward. Thank you so much. Blazor Mr. Magoo is here as well. Hello. Gonna just lurk for a little bit. It's Litany. There's another one of the live coders here. Good to see you. So I've gotten wrapped up. I've really fallen in love with building components here for Blazor, and I wanted to spend some more time today working through these components that we're building for web forms developers to be able to migrate to Blazor. And I want to specifically talk about a feature that came out in one of the last versions of ASP.NET Web Forms, something called ModelBinding. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the technology, it's a way for you to specify a couple of methods for you to connect your database interactions directly to, in web forms, a control. And at the appropriate time, those methods will be executed and either populate or interact with the control appropriately. So I want to talk about bringing those into our list view, and then move on and let's take a look at another control and let's start building that out. So that's where I want to go today. More web development, more Blazor, more C#, and let's get that rich data interaction that's so easy for folks to use available inside of our list view, our prototype component that we're building here. And we'll start refactoring so we reuse some of the things that we've already built for our next component that we'll build. And we'll be able to get those building and deployed and available for anybody to interact with. Sound good, chat room? What do you think? All the Fritz Bits redemptions are available out there. We're almost at another giveaway. Brave Cobra!
Brave Cobra 2 just resubscribed for 13 months.
13 months, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. More community. Indeed. Jean Valjean is here. Hello, so good to see you. How was Les Mis last night? Kidding. I'm going to keep going with the Les Mis things. That is a tremendous nickname. Is your name really Jean Valjean? Or is it a play on Les Mis? Let me know. Good morning. Oh my goodness, look who's here.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
Can we get some meatloaf?
Want it now! The meatloaf! What's she doing? I never know what she's doing.
I don't know. JAF 1021 is here. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. How's things? Getting ready for the holiday next week? Grandkids are going to be coming over, having a good time. It is from Les Mis, one of your favorites. Well, it's great to see you. I'm happy to celebrate that with you, Jean Valjean. So, all right, let's talk about. Well, let me get the music playing in the background first, and then we'll go over. I already said end then. We'll go over and talk about our code and start working through this a little bit. Hey, Crows, MBB, good to see you. Hello. I'm wearing my Xbox hat today. I was watching the game awards the other night. That was kind of fun to see all the things that were announced in the new Xbox, the Xbox Series X. This thing it's literally a PC that you put in into your home entertainment center, and it looks like it's the size of a milk carton. Maybe. I don't know. I don't work with the folks, but next time I'm out in Redmond in January, maybe I can sneak a peek at one. I don't know. I'm going to have to work on that. I'm going to play, let's play Yellow today. This is Music to Code By from our friend, Mr. Carl Franklin. It's scientifically designed, it's engineered to get you in the flow, to get you in the groove, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you can focus on and get stuff done. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. You can execute the music command in the chat room and get your copy of Music to Code By. Thank you so much, Carl, for letting us listen to your music while we write some code together today. Oh, no. Will you look at this already? Already, the challenge has been thrown. We're going to go right into this.
What'd you do?
Tagaron wants me to change to light mode for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of light mode.
And then?
Oh no! Don't tell me there's another one coming behind us. All right. Let me get the sunglasses out. Got my TwitchCon sunglasses. We'll have those on so we can write some code together here. All right, fine. See this? What other code or challenge lets you taunt him like this? We are 8 followers away from our next sticker giveaway here in stream. I do have a couple things queued up here I need to send out. I wasn't able to get over to the what's it called? To the post office yesterday. I had to take care of kids had a bunch of things we had to do yesterday, but I'm going to get out there tomorrow. When you did the end then command, you got a DM from the Fritzbot saying that isn't a command. Is that new? No, you shouldn't be getting that. You shouldn't be getting that at all. Is it running somewhere else? The only place it's running is here, unless I'm gonna hang on to your redemption here, Tagaron, for just a minute. I did at one point run the bot off of the cloud. I had it installed and running out there because I had it running somewhere else. Right, I was at channel 9 or something, and I had to have it running. Now you got me wondering, is it running somewhere else as well? Let me take a quick peek. I know where it's running. I know exactly where it's running. The project that we were working on right here is where it's at. Yeah. This doesn't know what those commands are, and it is connected to my channel right now. Wow. And I don't have a way to turn it off. I don't need a screenshot because I know where it is. Let me think. What should we do here? What should we do? Let me disable this. But I don't have a way for it to tell it to leave the chat room right now. Let me think. And I don't want to shut it completely off, because if I shut it off, it's gone. No, it's okay. It's okay. Let me shut it off for right now.
Oh my.
I'm just going to turn it off, because nobody else is using it. And we'll come back to it. So there it is. It's stopped. Alright. And we'll come back to that. And there's a question from Brave Cobra here. I like this question. This is a good question. Are we going to do the Christmas reading again? So last year I read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and that was nice. We had a nice roaring fire. There's a highlight just below the video. No, if you click the videos link up above, you'll see it. It's in my highlights from about this time last year. But I read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and I read 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. And I think it's only festive that we, appropriately festive, that we do those readings again this year. Probably next Sunday, the 22nd, is when I'll do them. I don't think I'm going to be streaming. I don't know if I'll be streaming on the 24th or the 25th. Obviously not the 25th. But, yeah. I think we'll definitely do 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. Oh, and we got to do the Invisible Man. You know what? I have some downtime here over the next week. Let me see if I need to get the Invisible Man edited, published. I've got a bunch of other things. Yeah. Smab, you're right. I need to get back into reading the Invisible Man, because that was so much fun. That was a tremendous series for me of readings that I was doing live here on Twitch. So, performing, as it were. You'd suggest getting the Getting Started manual of the Stream Deck. Yeah, let me find the Getting Started manual for the Stream Deck. I'll read that out loud too. What? And I've got something to play here for folks who don't know who I am. I'm
just for fun.
That's me. I'm Jeff. Jeff Fafa. So, yes, there
can be only one.
Only one. That's me. So, we'll see. So, yeah, you know what? I will get back to the Invisible Man this week. Let me get that on the schedule. That's definitely something we need to do. So, +1 for reading the Stream Deck. Do you work for Elgato? The Stream Deck manual. Let me put that on. Let's start putting together a list here. We need to do readings to perform. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Die Hard. The Invisible Man. Those are capitalized. The Elgato Stream Deck manual. Yeah, that's a thing. All right, moving this over here. It's no C# spec. That's right. There can only be one. That's me. All right. Reading from the code comments. Nah. So this says 8. The number I'm seeing is 11. Let me just adjust the gauge here below me. Make sure that matches the number of followers that we have here on Twitch. My overlays, and I am working with some folks to get some new overlays for 2019. I have some new emotes coming. Lots of new emotes. Where do you see the new emotes that I've planned? Oh man, they're so good. Corky Candy is... she has some great ideas of what to do with these, and I'm very excited to see how that goes. And we'll have those new emotes in January. Along with, I'm taking the bot logo, the bot character, and we're going to make him a little bit more prominent in the stream and making some other things. In 2020, that's it. Yes, in 2020, in the new year. Yes. We're getting new look, new feel for all the stuff for 2020. And it's going to be amazing. A live counter of the amount of Stream Decks used? No. That's... It would be spinning too quickly if we had a live counter of the number of Stream Decks used. You're trolling me now. No! Kinga, good afternoon from the UK to you in the UK. Welcome. So, I'm going to introduce what it is that I want to talk about here. And I'll go to light mode for the 15 minutes for Tagaron's cash in here. I still need to put a logo somewhere on the screen as to what's being redeemed and why things look weird. I need to figure out the best way to do that. Okay, So there's this concept when you're building in ASP.NET, original ASP.NET, right? That you have things called, you have a select method that when you use this, it creates a method that you can use and specify, hey, this is returning a collection of this type of object. And you just go and do that. Now you can also pass in these optional parameters so that when that interaction happens, the control will appropriately page and sort and these things to interact with it. So I've got two different syntaxes here for the onSelect method that I want to be able to handle. And I think we want to at least set up the select method. I haven't done anything with the other ways that you can interact, like insert method. There's also, right, not edit, it's update method, right? And these are the methods that you want it to call so that it will appropriately bind to that object that you're passing back that you want to update. and update it in the database, right? So it'll do an inspection here. It'll apply model state interactions, right? Oh, there was an error. You know, if there, right, was not didn't find that thing that we needed to update, try to update it and appropriately save changes. So there's these interactions that you can do, right? And I think there's also delete method. There it is, right? And it's just passing in an ID of what to do. I did do that, Janescu. Well, I'll show you that in a second. So these these 4 methods for insert, update, and delete, I'd like to be able to handle. But really the one that I want to start with is select, because I'm not doing any of the edit methods yet. I'm going to start building some more of these out so that you can at least get the view capabilities happening.
And then
We'll come back and do some of the edit features, because I want to get more of these controls at least running out there and visible for folks to be able to say, oh, there is something happening here that we can go and interact with. Now, Janescu makes a very good point here. And yes, you'll see that if we could set the parameter for the run at, excuse me, for the run at attribute. So whenever you have in ASP.NET a control that you reference, you always have to specify run at equals server. So what we did was, I have in this base component, I have run at as a string, and I've marked it as obsolete. So it will properly give you run at there, but it's obsolete. It doesn't matter what the value is in there, it's just going to ignore it. So, because we don't have a way in Blazor to pivot back and forth whether a control should run at server or run at client. We don't have, that isn't something that the framework supports just yet. Nothing else matters with a question here. Remote Node.js code debugging on a Raspberry Pi is supporting using the Raspberry native OS in Visual Studio. I think that's available. I haven't tried it, but I know that you can do remote debugging from Visual Studio, and it might be able to do it. I haven't tried it, but I know that they want to make remote debugging onto a Pi something that you can do. VS Code should be able to support that. Excuse me. So, I want to talk about and get that select method dialed in here. Alright. So let's get into light mode. As requested from our bits cache in here for 15 minutes. Getting ready for light mode. Hey. Change environment color themes. Fine. Light mode. I don't know why it went up to the corner like this, but hey. There it is, light mode. You need sunglasses to do this because it's so bright. Lurks for the next 15 minutes, all right? 15-minute timer is set. There we go. Counting down. So I want to take, and I already started here, a ModelBinding component base class that's going to insert those 4 methods: select properties, select method, insert method, update method, and delete method. I'm going to start with select, right? So select method's going to take a pointer to another method that's actually going to do the things, but it's going to be one of 2 different types of pointers. So it's weird. It's almost like I want to be able to overload the parameter. Let's start writing this, see what it looks like. So this is going to be public. It's a parameter, so it's going to receive this. Let's just call it an action for now. action? No. No. Ah, wait. Oh boy. Spell that right, Jeff. It's going to be a func that returns the whatever the type is of our item. So base. Do we want to pass our item type all the way down into our base classes? I think so. You're looking in HDR now, right? Count Oren, hello. It's yes, we're going to be passing. We want a delegate here that's going to be almost like an event handler, right? Like, if we look at, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones where we have some sort of a delegate that we pass back and forth through this. Hey there, Chris Jones. Good to see you. Yes, you do have a render mode for those other components. If I go back over here, right, and we look at, don't need to see those. If we look at Blazor component events, we want to be able to handle the. Here we go. We want to specify a. Well, there's current value at on change, right? So we have this event that we're specifying. Right, we're not doing an event here. We're passing a delegate in. But and it's receiving some args. We're not passing that. So I think we're going to be okay. Right? We're going to pass Thinking, how do I structure this? Event callback. Yes. Is it going to be an event callback? Kind of. Right? It's kind of an event callback. Fairy Wings, thank you for the host. Are they the same glasses as the Terminator? No. Oh, the docks are in dark mode. Oh, fine. Theme. Light. How's that? Better. So it's, we want to pass to, it's a property, it's a parameter that we're passing in, but is the item type going to be passed in here? Let me come back to your question there, DSC. I want to finish thinking this through. I think the item type I want to be passed all the way through. Right? Inherence. Ooh, I can't. Because it's way out here on the imports. Maybe... Okay, maybe... Can we do this? Can we do something like that? Does that work? It doesn't know what that is. And I can't make it just that if I put the item type down here. Okay. Well, maybe I can... So if... I don't want... Okay, so... Type parameter is item type. Right, I want to be able to say func that's going to return item type.
Stuped just resubscribed for 4 months.
Thanks so much for the
Hope
resub.
Everyone is having a great day so far.
Oh my gosh, well, I'm being blinded here. Svava! thank you for those 300 bits. I'm going to make donations for that sub renewal and for the cheer. I'm going to make donations to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And I think we're going to be making our next donation on Tuesday. I'm very much looking forward to that. Brave Cobra and the rest. Well, let me pause here while I'm trying to figure this out. We'll, let me do this. Cheer 300. And today is the 15th. Good. All right. So the question here is from DSC is, how do you do versioning correctly with your own NuGet packages? You have like 20 projects that rely on those packages. You don't want to update all those projects by hand, incrementing the version.
Stuped just gifted 5 subs.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. 5 gift subs into the channel. I'm going to make more donations to St. Jude. 25 other folks in chat are going to get emotes. Thank you so much, MStew. 3Ender3, Kelly28, Uncle Bill Druin, Drazik, and Gumshoe Noir. Congratulations, you all just got gift subscriptions. Thank you very much for that. Let me answer the question here. You want to centralize the package versioning? Is that what I'm getting here? Yeah, I didn't notice that they were in dark mode because of the glasses. Does parameter do anything? Let me come back to that question. Let me come back to that question from Rocklebest. So what I've done in the past, and I'm not doing it here, is I've pushed references to the NuGet packages. I've centralized them out in another folder. Nothing else matters. Thank you so much for that 200 bits. Oh my goodness. And we'll make another donation to St. Jude. Thank you very much. Mary Jo!
Mara Just Evil just resubscribed for 3 months. Is the future that bright?
It is. It is totally bright. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the resub. We'll make another donation. 3 months, that's going to put you into a red hat now. On the loyalty badges. Thank you so much. Mary Jo's another member of the Live Coders team. Check her out over there on her channel. Can we get a shout out for Mary Jo? And I believe it didn't say. Oh my gosh.
Bucheros just resubscribed for 13 months.
Thank you, Frank.
It's party time.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you so much. Light mode, that's why I'm on the sunglasses. Yes, indeed. I don't see the resubs sharing the emotes. Oh, I guess it did. Ah, there they are. No. It's not saying that it shared the emotes. In mine, at least. Okay. What I wanted to show you was for the setting the common versions of NuGet packages, I have a directory build props here. So this gets included in all of my projects automatically. That's what MS Build does. So it points to build props, project.build properties. This is inside the Pixel bot. It's being renamed to the Fritz bot. So you see it there. And if you go into build props, there is this properties file. And I have a property group here that specifies the versions of ASP.NET Core that I use. But you could also put in here versions of the various packages that you want. Put those in as properties, and you'll see I reference inside of my project files, like here, instead of putting the version number on something, I put a variable reference like this, so that all of my package versions track at the same time. So that's inside of the PixelBot project. You can find that. at that address. It looks like it shared the emotes, but I don't see the emote announcement happening in chat. So, all right, let me get back into the project here, and I want to talk about trying to get this generic item type flowing through the code. Let's see. So I want the item type here to be available here. So maybe, can I do it like this? And maybe it doesn't need to flow all the way down to here, but maybe my list view, instead of implementing based web forms component, right? I wanted to implement, because this is a model binding one, which implements base web forms component. So now I'm getting a hierarchy of these. So this is going to be a model binding component of type item type. Why doesn't it like that? Yep, because it has a different base class. So now, because this is different, I can say inherits, right? Model binding component item type. And now everything should, yeah, all my red lines went away. That only works within one solution, not across repositories. Correct. Yep, or you can share that build file across repositories. So the other question, Rockelbest is asking about what does the parameter attribute here, does that do anything? So this parameter attribute that you see, these inside of my C# code over here create that's fine. Create attributes that I can use on my list view component over here. So, for example, right, there's item type. Item type is right here, right? It's my type that I'm passing in. Visible, right? Visible is inside of my base component now. Right, so there it is. There's visible, and it's a parameter, which makes it an attribute here that I can pass into from Markdown here, right? It makes this list view directive, right? It's a component in Blazor, but other folks in other frameworks call it a directive. It makes that visible as something that we can interact with, right, by adding the parameter up here. And I can put comments with it also. Is the content of this component rendered and visible to your users, right? And if I rebuild, yeah, we're going to use minver for this, but minver has some, for package versioning, has some drawbacks, and I'll show you this in a minute. Right, I'm not putting that comment on there is going to allow me to specify this. Generics, yes. Thank you for the follow. The Messy Coder. Oh my gosh, welcome, the Messy Coder. They're another one of the live coders. There you go. You can see I now get a little bit of IntelliSense help when you use the visible attribute. The Messy Coder is another member of the live coders team. Can we get a shout out for the Messy Coder? And that tone means that our 15 minutes of light mode are up. Thank you so much, Tagaron, for the redemption there, and for taunting me into light view mode. I need to make this a hotkey so I can just jump right into it and bounce out of it with a button here on the Stream Deck. There we go. Now we could take off the sunglasses because now we're getting back to normal dark mode developer stuff. So Fritz bits are available for everybody. They're just here, but they're over there. Click the little orange gear. All kinds of things you can redeem in there. You can ask me to wear different hats. You can change my font, change the way that the editor looks. You can request a voiceover that I'll record for you. We'll record that live on stream for you. You can ask me to change my voice. I've got all kinds of voice mods available between Thanos, make it party time. I can sound like Darth Vader for a little bit. all kinds of stuff that you can ask me to do. I'll even review your code. We'll open live share, all kinds of stuff. Check it out. Click that orange gear down below there and have some fun. Boom Boom uses light mode, and you would be wrong. Welcome back to the dark side. The dark side? The dark side? Yes. Yes. Hey, why didn't that turn on? Is that? No. Okay. There it is.
Behold the power of the dark mode. That's a thing, right?
Totally a thing. Totally a thing. So, all right. Put back on my gunner sunglasses here so we can focus and get stuff done. That's a punishment to go into light mode. It's a challenge. It's not a punishment. Oh, I tell you. Let's see. .NET template. Yeah. There you go. All right, let's get back into this. So I wanted to set up a func that's going to return item type, and it's probably going to take some other input parameters here, right? I don't know, something and something, and this will be the select method, right? I don't. It's going to be returning. It's going to return a collection of these actually. iQueryable, right? Is the way that it was set up using system.link. There we go. Now, oh, Stelzy, you want me to go right into it, don't you? Look at that, another redemption. I know, I wrote 3 lines and you jumped me right into this. Look at this. The most popular video you made on YouTube is how to hack Unity to enable dark mode, says the messy coder. That's pretty cool. All right. I've got a bunch of videos I've got to send over to YouTube, and I'm keep slacking on this. Uncle Bill Druin, good to see you. All right, so we're going to go over to Vader mode here for 5 minutes. Yeah, look at that. Mary Jo's already giggling at me. Look at this. All right. All right. So we will stop the music. Stop the music. Right, we were... Stop that. And... It looks... That's not activated already. Make sure I have this right.
Alright, ready? Here we go. We need to pass in a couple of, let me turn that down. A couple of parameters for our select method. Oh yes, darn Skippy. ASP.NET has, what do they look like? There's a thing. When I say select method, right? And I take a look at that. Int out total row count. That's a problem. And a sort by expression. If I'm passing this as a func, I can't have... Can I make it in the second out? No, I can only have one out. Okay. Maybe I make it return tuple? Can we do that? It's going to change the syntax slightly. But it'll work. It'll be simple. Yeah, Junicus. I think that's right. Mary Jo using Imperials emotes. Yeah, tuple. I think that's going to be the way to go. So, I think we actually have two different select methods then. One that doesn't take any parameters, like that. But can I provide two properties with the same name but different signatures? I don't think I can do that. Let's see. I don't think that's legit. Yeah, can't have two properties with different signatures. Rats. Okay. So we're gonna force everybody into the full syntax. I guess that's alright. And we're gonna return. Oh, I need to store by. Yeah. And we're gonna return an int. So let's call this total row count. And output. Wait, can I do that? I can do that. That's totally a thing. Like that. That is ugly. But it might work. It might be. I think it'll work. Do the Christmas reading as Vader. Gather round, children, while I tell you the story of old Saint Nick. No, that's not gonna work. Isn't there a catch-all parameter thingy in Blazor Components? I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure what you're referring to. We'll think about that. So now, let me delete this. I think we need a separate sample, a new sample. Right? Because this is a different behavior of the list view. Right? So let's create one, and we'll call it ModelBinding. Web form. And no. Ugh. Yeah. I want a master page file. You. Go away. Master page. Oh, do you remember this, friends? So much fun. ASP content. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright. I think that's time. We're done. Gonna make it generic. Make what generic? The select method? Maybe. Maybe. Thank you for the redemption. Right? It's totally a thing.
And now am I back over here? Test? How's that? All right, back now. So I think the one that I may use for the story reading is this one. Let me show you what this voiceover sounds.
Gather round, children, as we hear the story of Hans Gruber.
Yeah, that's totally a thing. Oh, that we need to do that sound effect. All right, I want similar look and feel here. for the model binding version of this. List view model binding sample. Here's a list view using model binding to interact with widgets. Okay, so instead of having a code behind that does, and right, this is kind of the way that folks initially did interactions with their controls. They'd say data source, data bind, boom, and at that point it would do the interaction. The way that I was recommending folks interact with this is and is this still marked as enabled false? No, enabled true. Say select method equals and create your method that's going to go get the data. And this is really easy because we've already got something built up to do this. I can say widget dot simple widget list, right? Which is just an array, but it's not queryable, so I need to as queryable it. Done. Because I've already got a method in my repository object that knows how to do this. Sven Vandenbrand, welcome. So let's see. So I've got right. I mean, this is the simplest way to do the model binding, and it's done. I don't need to do any other thinking here. It just outputs and looks and behaves the same way. But for my list view Blazor component, how do I get that select method to trigger and appropriately load up my component on the page? So let's go mock up what we want that code to look like, and we'll make that happen. So let me also put let me put a link here. I almost want to create like a collection of links going across. Right, href equals model binding sample. Other usage samples, and we'll just add some more going across the screen. Here is a little bar near the top. Okay, so this, right, and my C# file has nothing now behind the scenes, but I'm going to need these built out eventually. Gotta go. Take care, Messy Coder. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I turned off my music. Let me get the music turned back on. There we go. Let's see here. All right. So here's my list view. Let's create a new. It's not a Razor page. It's a Blazor component, and it's not here either. Huh. All right. Yep. And I'll call this model binding. Right, so when you make the Blazor components, you specify, here's where I'm going to listen and here's what I'm going to respond on. Let me put together the same type of little paragraph. Wait, where'd that little div go? Oh, yeah, here it is. I'll put this same type one over here for, right, so I have this same type of little, thing going across. And I'll have this go into the model binding scenario, which will be here, and I want it to listen. So in Blazor, we specify this page directive up at the top so that it knows here's where it's listening for these. So I will specify list view / model binding. Right, and I'll put hopefully, something that looks the same right up here at the top. And I want to use, hopefully this works, something that looks and feels like the exact same list view I've already got. But I don't have ASP in front of it, right? Namespaces aren't a thing. Look at that. It already lit up and knows what list view is. Loving that. Loving that. ID is going to come back and say use @ref instead. So I'm already being helped to do the appropriate thing there. Select method, and it doesn't know what this is. Does not exist. And it says simple list view does not exist. So what happens? Can I control dot? No. Okay. So this is a list view of type widget. Right? Simple list view. That's what it was called, right? Good, that went away. Okay, so the select method, can I control dot on that? No, it won't generate that for me. Okay, we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. We've got this. We've got this, friends. TBD Gamer, good to see you. But making it generic. Let me get back to that. There might be something there. Thank you for the follow, Husky Programmer. Husky Programmer. Are you from University of Washington? The Huskies? Let me know. I'm curious how you got your name, Husky Programmer. Welcome in. It's good to see you. So this is going to be a method that we're going to pass as this func here. Maybe there's a quick and dirty way we can do that. Maybe less dirty and more quick. Layout template. Oh, you know what? I want to get that message from the layout template. See this obsolete? I want to have a similar, just like I did with, just like I did with the base component. How I had yeah, these things are not available. Let's do this. Layout template is not available. And we'll do that. And put these two little alarms. There we go. Okay, so now layout template will... It's not throwing an error, but it's marked as obsolete. So I now know that I need to do this. Get rid of these. So I'm going to leave layout template there for now. Because I want to feel what it's like to go through the actual process of editing the controls. So that worked, and now it doesn't know what these things are. So I'm going to go through and change these with a control H, and I'm going to replace that with @. What do you mean no more occurrences? Right. And we'll just replace the end of the bee stings. Good. Okay. It doesn't know what item is. This is that other thing that I was saying. Wouldn't it be great if we could... not that one. This one. Because I have to specify context equals item in order to get it to flow that context down. And I wanted to see if there was a way that we could set item as the default name for that. Ooh, Stelzy has an idea for multiple select methods. Let me see what you got there, Stelzy. So Stelzy linked over here. That's bright. That's better. I feel better about that now. Go to the right place in that article. Thank you. Attribute splatting and attribute parameters. Yeah, okay, so... if we did the attribute splat on this, splat being it's going to just collect all those other parameters, and we can inspect them at that point. We could receive those and inspect and see if any one of them is select method and trigger it appropriately. Hucking Fackers. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. I mean, I could do it that way instead of hard coding something. Could do that. Thank you for the follow, McJohn J. Welcome. And I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, McJohn J. Rekabek, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. If I went that direction and we did the attribute splat for the signature of SelectMethod, then I'm not going to get the IntelliSense on SelectMethod. Right? I lose a little bit of that. If that isn't there. Right, this goes blue. Right? Tell me it's going to build. Make sure it builds. Build succeeded. That's interesting that it... Let me delete that. See what happens when I rebuild this. Placeholder was there too. Now wait, why doesn't it... Empty item templates. I don't have empty item template implemented yet. Hey, Simon Jeering, good to see you. Right, so now if I do... See, SelectMethod isn't a thing here. Especially if I don't spell it correctly. Right, so you're not going to kind of know that it's there. Validation, some hints with the Roslyn helper. Now we're adding a... I mean, we could do that. Sure. Sure. That would be a thing. And we would have to override... right, if we did an override here for not build render tree. For on after render. Right? The attribute splat is available. I collected the other attributes. I thought I did. Where'd it go? Or did I delete it? I thought I had the attributes here. Attributes. No, I don't see it. Okay. So... I thought I could have sworn I had it. Let me go back to the source code. Yeah. Parameter capture unmatched values. So let me add that to the base here. And the item placeholder ID. Yeah. Got rid of that. So if we do this, and this is a public string, which means we're gonna have to convert it back into a method. A method call. That could be weird. But it's right, it's a dictionary of string and type of object. Right, so the select method would be just it would return as a string. We'd have to turn it into a method and see if we could get it to fire. See if it's available out there. Simon Jeering moved over to .NET Core 3.1 and C# 8 yet. This is Blazor we're working on. I'm not specifically using C# 8. I'm not using any C# 8 features in it. You're really liking it? New web app host is nice. Yes, it is. It's very fast. Capturing all the other input attributes is nice, but I want those to be functions on the end. So I think I do want to stick with this syntax. Let me stick with that for now. Let's see where it leads us. So that SelectMethod then becomes a thing. So if SelectMethod is a function that's going to take, right? It was, and what was the order of these? We should probably specify those. No, I don't want that right now. All right. Func input parameters are max rows, start row index, sort by expression, and returns the total row count and collection requested. We'll figure that out a little bit later. More tacos. Love it. Love it. So I have my if, so I can say if select method does not equal null. So if I have one, if first render, there we go. What I want to do inside of my razor component, right, so this doesn't have any errors right now. Good. So if the select method is going to be a func that takes an int and a string and returns that collection. So this is going to be, let's see if we can figure this out. Right, it's the max rows. Oh, look at that. Ooh, that's nice that it filled that out. What was the next one? Not max rows. Start row index. Let's say 0. Pass that in. Why not? The string. I don't know what that is, so I'll just say yeah. Let's put an at here so we can. Bald bearded builder. Did you just get the resubscribe?
Just resubscribed for 13 months. Sweet mother. Did I forget to cancel that again? Oh well. I've got another month to take care of it.
Inconceivable!
Thank you so much, my friend. We'll make another donation to St. Jude. And yeah, it's not saying that folks are getting the haha holidays emotes. I think we're still doing the holidays emotes. I thought so. Thank you so much. I appreciate the sub. And yeah, you're gonna get the emotes. You're gonna get alerts, ads turned off, all that good stuff. And okay, so and returning. So let me. All right, let's set this up. Let's do this the right way. These are my input parameters. Right, and my method that I'm going to return. Thank you for the follow. Is that Jarby? Welcome. President not sure. Hello with paperclip. Clippy with the rainbow beard. Absolutely. And it should be 9091. There we go. All right, so why isn't it like that? Okay, it doesn't know what that is. So max, let's say max is 100. is the maximum row count. Okay. And the method that we're going to call is widget.simpleWidgetList, but I'm not just returning that. I need to return a that and the simple no widget. Ooh, this is gonna be ugly. Simple widget list. Oh my gosh, that totally worked. At least it looks like it'll work. What isn't like about this? Comma expected. Put a comma in there. There's a comma right there. Right, if I say, no, it's not over there. I want to be over here. Nope, doesn't like that. Myrtlex, of course you can always ask a question. Is run at server still useful? No, not here. In fact, I'm only leaving it there so you can just copy it over. Just let that be discarded. So this is, I'm attempting to pass in, here's the arguments that are being passed in to this. Right? No, these need to be, these can't be values, these need to be variables. Right? Max, start, sort. And it doesn't do the, okay. So it's telling me this should be an integer it's returning. Yeah. And this needs to be the dot as queryable. Ah, there, it worked. Okay. So that's a little weird how I... What? Some of the return types in the block are not implicitly convertible to the delegate return type. You stink. You stink. You know that?
And you blow it!
Right. So I'm gonna, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's do this. I'm gonna give it the exact same name as up here. And we'll give it, is it gonna let me generate that? I'm gonna come to your question in just a second here, Myrtlex. So that's the name of this method. Kind of stinks that it doesn't let me specify that. So that's the name of the method, and it's returning, right, integer and in a queryable, an I queryable of type, and it's got to be the same type there. This, right? So this is going to be receiving max start sort. Okay. Even if I just return null, just get it to do something. That should satisfy this, right? Has the wrong return type. What do you mean has the wrong return type? It should be returning an iQueryable of item type as the output. Which should be that. It's the wrong return type. Int iQueryable of type widget. Okay, select method should be returning an int32 called total row count. Is it because I don't have the... Is it because of that? And it doesn't like this. Just to get it to do something here. Has the wrong return type. It doesn't like the return type. this is difficult. What's defined in the property? Int string, and the return type is a tuple of type total row count, and the item type, the generic item type that's been passed in. So the select method isn't seeing the item type. Yeah, widget should be the item type in this case, because it's yeah, item type here should match right there, right? Aren't you only returning one part of the tuple in the function though? Nope, returning both. Right? Right, if we say widget dot simple list as queryable dot count okay, so if I say total row count and this becomes output, do I have to put, is it a colon there? Is that what I'm missing? For those labels? Okay. Still doesn't like that. Has the wrong return type. Myrtlex is asking me to do a code review. You can pass that. You can paste that into the channel Discord, and we'll take a look later. Aren't I only returning one part of the tuple? Yeah, I'm returning both parts right there. So there's a Discord server link just below. You can click through. You can execute the Discord command in the channel, and it'll give you a link to our Discord server, and you can paste your question over there, and there's lots of folks that'll be happy to help you out in the Discord server to do a code review off video here. All right. Let's take a look, see. Why won't this come through? Why can't we pass this? Try temporarily adding a private class in place of the tuple and see if it magically works, in case it's an implicit cast issue. Fair enough. Fair enough. Heck, let's just get rid of the... Right? Just nuke the one parameter, right? And if we just make this return the iQueryable, and we just return, right? So that's clean. That does what we expect, and that is, it's the tuple. It's stumbling on the tuple here. Thanks so much, Myrtlex. I appreciate you asking a question, and that type of code review. I will let folks submit channel points to do that, but otherwise, send it over to the Discord server, and there's lots of folks that can help out. So the complexity there, this works, but that output parameter for the entire collection, the entire row count, right? If I want it to totally match the syntax, excuse me, that the select method has for web forms, that needs to be set, right? row count, total row count. And that's an int. Total row count equals out collection dot count, right? And but that violates up here. So I don't think there's a way you can specify 2 outs in a func. I don't think there's a func delegate here that'll allow you to specify multiple outs. No. No. Instead of a func, I could just put together and make it a delegate called SelectMethod. Right? That has that appropriate signature. Oh man, who doesn't love specifying delegates in the morning? Oh yeah, oh yeah, public delegate. Oh, love this, right? And this is going to return an I queryable of type item type. Oh, this is going to be ugly. Brave Cobra has a link for us for a func of t with an output parameter. I don't think this is possible. Ref and out are not part of the type parameter definition, so you can't use the built-in func delegate. You can declare your own delegate if you want. Right. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? That's basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to create my own delegate that has that syntax. Yes. So delegate, this is going to be an I queryable. It's going to return that, and right, we'll call this not select method. Let's call this I don't want to select handler, right? And it's going to take, I don't need to specify the generics. I can actually put int max rows, int start row index, string sort by expression, out int total row count. Right? So I have that. So instead, I can just make this a select handler that it's passing. Which means down here, now why doesn't it like that? Matches delegate func. It's not a func anymore. It should actually match. Let's see if we build and get it to work. You can pattern match funcs. Oh boy. Oh, you're answering Myrtelex's question. Okay. Build succeeded. Fantastic. So that worked. Now that it knows that it's a delegate, there it is. It knows to get that to match up, and this works. So if first render and select method does not equal null, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say items. Well, right. It's also, oh no, the data source isn't in here. I need to pull the data source back from list view. The items in the data source. These two. I'm going to promote this up into the ModelBinding component, so these are always available. Where's the other one? Data bind is the one I wanted to grab and pull as well. I don't see it. Where's data bind? There, this one. That's not going to be available in everything. I'll leave it there for now. All right, and let's do some control dot. Control dot. Oh, good. So down here, only after render, I can say items equals. Not select enter. Thank you for the follow. Avkenzo, welcome. It's good to see you, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. 8 followers from our next giveaway. Johan B, good to see you. Hello, hello. Keeping an eye on things here. So now I'm going to pass in to the select method 0. Max rows. I don't care. Sure. No sort by. Total row count. I'm not quite sure what to do with these values yet, but I'll just pass them in. You know what? Let's just say int dot max value, because I don't care. Just go find it. So that should now bind and present this version correctly. So to the question we had earlier, hey, what you doing? We're building Blazor components that behave like the old web forms components, controls. We're making it better. We're improving it. We're bringing web forms into the new world. And there's an error. What is it? What don't you like? Multiple properties were found on component type list view. Blazor web forms components list view. Only a single property per type can use parameter attribute capture. Input attributes at... I know. Additional attributes and input attributes. I have it in there twice. Why would I do such a thing? Where are they? Additional attributes. Ah. And I also created, right somewhere over here, input attributes. Let's get rid of it. Let's grab these and put them here so that they're always available. It's always captured coming out of our base component. I need to rebuild. Totally need to rebuild. And then we'll get it right. Lazy loading. Oh, that's a fun problem to deal with. There we go. List view component homepage. And it's not showing anything on the list view. The default list view. Not that. This one? Because we have visible turned off. Let's turn that back on. And that should load. Should load. There it is. And it's got the alternating, and it looks ugly because I have alternating and separate item templates. Right? If I remove this and reload, it looks so web formy. Yes, it does, and that's kind of the point. Kinda. Cool. All right, and I have the model binding sample. Oh no, that's the wrong place. Why didn't it just go right? Like, it went to the wrong place. No, it's going to / model binding instead of... That's weird. Get it to recycle. Yeah. Come on. That's the right place. There it is. Not quite what we're looking for yet. Let's figure out what we did, what we need to include here. Table class table all the way through. Oh, I didn't put class equals table. Table. Okay. But it didn't load. Why didn't it load? I have select method defined, so it should have loaded. List view model binding. There it goes. The CSS styling is there. You're looking forward to seeing my test suite for all these features. Yeah, we're gonna need to figure out how to test these, and I feel like we're gonna want to do a comparison between the different types of markup that it renders, so that we can say, oh yeah, it rendered the same thing in both places. Why is it saying? So select method, simple list view, get data. It should have called into this. Thank you for the follow, Johnny B. Cat. That was too perfect. Real life code, no tests. No, we'll get some tests behind this. So I have a select method. It should hit this, right, and step in, and wire that up and do the thing. Let me run this with the debugger attached and let's see what happens. Janascu says there's this migration document over here in the docs. Yeah, check this out. This is all about the eShop web, and it's talking about the different things that you need to migrate. I'm trying to simplify this one and this one here. Right? If you look at components, it starts talking about data binding and how things work here. And I want to simplify a little bit of how this works. This is a really cool document, but, oh! It's written by me. Who'd have thought it? I wrote this. And actually, I'm going to be working on this a bit this week. So, just let the end users do the testing. No. We'll... Johnny B. Cat, that's exactly what I think. We should do some automated UI testing. There's a technology out there called, and it's acceptance tests from, I believe it's Llewellyn Falco. I don't see it. How do you spell Llewellyn? Oh, that's how. Falco, I believe, is the gentleman's name who wrote this. It's right, and it's, I forget the name of the test. Good test suite. Where is, oh, Llewellyn, where's your approval tests? That's it. And what approval tests do is, yeah, a picture is worth 1,000 tests. Check this out. And Llewellyn did a great job with this, and I want to see if we can continue to do this. Is create whatever the user interface is, and then run the approval tests against it, and write back, did this work? And he's been doing this since 2008, and he's been talking about it a bunch of different places. Approval tests. Ah, there it was, approvaltest.com. I knew there was a thing. There we go. Hasn't been touched, it looks like, since 2013. So we'll take a look and see what we can do here. But you create a scenario, write that scenario in English, translate it to code, create code so that it works, run your test for feedback, and it compares exactly what it is to make sure it works. So it works with .NET. Approval test verification library for .NET. And... oh gosh, it's been touched as recently as this month. Oh, that's awesome. So we'll see if we can get some of this to behave the same way and get the same. I mean, look at all the people who contribute to this. Wow. And we'll see if we can get this project, this, to do some of that. This is based on some Steve Sanderson work. Oh, very cool. Oh no, the Blazor specific testing library from Egil. So I was just not on the phone, but I was just talking to Egil here about testing. So maybe we can use this. And I've invited Egil to speak at the upcoming .NET Conf Focus event in January. Can we get the link? What link? The link for approval tests is here. There you go. And Selenium will do a little bit of that as well. Yep. But definitely trying to figure out a way that we can automate this so we can get it to work. Applet tools. I'm not familiar with applet tools. SpecFlow helps with that. Yep. Yep. So let me see. Did I get... So here's list view. There's the initial one. The model binding sample. There we go. First render and select method. It's telling me select method is null. But I clearly passed a pointer to it. So why is it saying select method is null? Right, because select method's right here. Or is that coming from somewhere else? Still null. There it is. Now I got a thing there. All right. So it's going to call the select method, passing in max value, and so if I step into that, look at this. It's way down here inside this code. So out collection is that collection of widgets that I have specified over somewhere else. Total row count is 3, and it's going to return that out collection, which should now set the items. So now the items is that collection of widgets. But it didn't put anything in there. Catalan. I'm not familiar with Catalan. Do you have a link for me on that, Johnny B. Cat? Oh, I need a state is changed. I need to force. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Need to notify the component to repaint. Thank you. So now if I go back over here, if I reload, is it still running? Is it still running? Nope. Not that one. Rats. Run it without the debugger attached. There's a link to Catalan.com. Simplify Web API. Ooh. Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Is this open source? Do we need... What's the licensing look like for this? Web testing. It's not web application testing. Let me think about that. This might be a little bit too much for what we need, because we want to be able to test the individual components. There it goes. Right, because I still have the item separator template in there. Let me get rid of that. And there we go. Now we've got model binding working with the select method. Fantastic. Fantastic. We got it working. We improved it. We made it stronger. It's better. And I feel pretty good about that. Irvice says, if we understand correctly, this should be a lift and shift upgrade from web forms to Blazor. Lift and shift is maybe a little bit strong. This should be an equivalent. This should be an appropriate equivalent, so you can carry along your markup. Better, stronger, bigger. Yes. C# patch notes. No. Yeah, that's when you're... Hang on. There was a comment there about the font ligature that happened here. That's actually 2 characters, and Visual Studio turns that into 1. Right? I typed the 2 characters, right? And Visual Studio sees them next to each other and turns it into that ligature, which looks more appropriate for us. And this is because I'm using the Cascadia Code font. That's an open source font that Microsoft's next generation terminal team have built, and it's available for anybody to download and use. Will this replace? No. No. I'm going to put the message up here again, and this is something that I want to make sure we get firm here for everybody. Blazor is not Silverlight. Silverlight, Flash, these technologies, Java applets, ActiveX controls required a plugin in order to run in a browser. These are what we're building here are components that run on top of the Blazor user interface framework, which can run either server-side inside of an ASP.NET application, or can run on top of WebAssembly, which is a web standard that will run in every browser. So, unlike those 4 other technologies, everybody has this. No plugins needed. There is not going to suddenly be the CEO of a major software company, hardware company saying, we don't support this anymore. Because then they're saying they don't support the HTML standard. This runs on top of that, and it runs inside the browser on the Mono framework. Very, very cool stuff. Thank you for the link. Boom, boom. So, a lazy dev port. That's a good way to describe it, Stelzy. Yeah. So, but it's important that we understand that trying to draw a line to Silverlight or to Flash is not what's happening here, right? Folks want to have richer, more native experiences inside the browser, and people have done all kinds of tricks and gimmicks with JavaScript to make that work, and that's not what's going on here. So we're doing more here. There are no more plugins.
There can be only one.
And it's WebAssembly. See what I did there? Ha 5 followers to go. Oh my gosh, Glenn!
Glenk just resubscribed for 10 months. Hey, I'm awake.
Look at that. Our friends on the West Coast are awake. Good morning, Glenn. Yeah. Thanks so much for the resub, and we'll make another donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's not St. Jude's Children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. All of our bits, all of our cheers, all of our subs this quarter are being donated to St. Jude. We're going to make another donation on Tuesday morning. Tune in, and we'll have some fun with that. We'll supporting the kids, the folks there at St. Jude. Regarding Silverlight, Simon Jeering says, let me put this up so we can discuss this. There it is. You think the analogy is made because Blazor fulfills the same business use case of easily deployable, rich UX. I understand the comparison. However, there's the stigma that comes along with the concept that immediately comes with when you tell someone that you're using Silverlight or Flash is, oh, I've got to install a plugin. I've got to maintain a plugin. And that stupid thing that pops up in the corner of my machine that says, oh, there's an update for the Flash plugin that you need to install happens. That doesn't happen at all with this. And so that's why I'm trying to encourage you to go forth and make sure that folks know that while Blazor functionally runs client-side in the browser when you do run it with WebAssembly, all of those problems that came along with running things client-side are not happening because of WebAssembly. We've solved the problem of maintaining a runtime on all these different operating systems and all these different browsers because we have one common standard that we're using. And that's a key word that I want to use here. Standard that we're using called WebAssembly. Everybody uses the exact same thing. Johnny B. Cat says, where am I in the Chicago? I'm not in the Chicago area. I'm in the Philadelphia area. Lord Shippenack. Welcome. It's good to meet you, Lord Shippenack. And welcome to the channel. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. But you are right. It does fulfill that hopeful promise of easily deployable user experience. But we need to make sure that we don't carry along some of that baggage from Flash and Silverlight and Java applets, and that instead we encourage folks to understand that this is a standard. Everybody's getting this now. Everybody has this capability without doing installations and modifying your browsers. It even works on phones. Phones, right? So, very cool stuff. I don't need to specify this. I don't need this. This is the select. Well, he helped push this forward a little, yes. At least this technology, the Blazor technology. It wasn't just the Great Scott, but it was also and Glenn C there in the chat room as well. So, so this is the select method to data bind the list view, the collection to. No. Let's call this data retrieval method. There we go. I think that's better. What actually? Let's do this. What does it look like in here? What's it say for the IntelliSense there? There is no IntelliSense. Only spoons. If I mouse over that, no, there is no IntelliSense. Ha ha! All right. So we've one-upped the official way this is doing it. Johnny B. Cat says, we are in Telerik Silverlight and we need to change it. Do you think it's a good path to go to Blazor? Yes. That's a great path to go from Silverlight to Blazor, because you'll have similar capabilities. The folks at Telerik have already built some Blazor components that are similar to what they had in Silverlight, and you should have a decent migration path. Blazor also fulfills the needs for not having to deal with all that crazy... Yeah. Yep, Stelzy's right on that. Janescu, WebAssembly is not a language. It's a platform that you build on top of. I wouldn't try to program directly against WebAssembly, but programming in the browser using WebAssembly does mean you don't need to deal with all the crazy JavaScript to interact with it. Blazor wraps that appropriately for you when you build with Blazor for WebAssembly, and you don't have to think about it at all. Simon Jering follows up. The plugin point, any conversation with a client migrating from Silverlight will have already had that conversation around other SPA frameworks. True. The business case for a common code base on C# then also has to be brought into the discussion. Ah, yes. So, for those of you that aren't familiar, Blazor is built on top of .NET Standard, which means then that your classes, your business logic that you might have already put into class libraries, if those class libraries are built using .NET Standard as the framework that they target, you can reference it inside of your Blazor application, which now means you have that same class library working client-side in Blazor, server-side in ASP.NET or server-side Blazor, on your mobile phone using Xamarin, on an IoT device, on a Windows Forms application, in a WPF application. You can just share and reuse it everywhere. Uno is another platform you can use. Yes, very good point, Janescu. All right. What's going on here? Okay. So, can you use Blazor components in an ASP.NET Framework MVC5 application? Asks Blue Blood GG. You can use Blazor Components. You can put Blazor WebAssembly into an ASP.NET Framework MVC5 application, the .NET Framework MVC5. You can reference and bootstrap and load them. Yes, because Blazor WebAssembly is static compared to the rest of the server-side application. Blazor server-side components, you cannot do that with. Blazor server-side only runs on .NET Core 3 and ASP.NET Core 3. So you're not quite there. Oh no. What I widely dislike about web pages using that technology is concerning the loading. Hang on, which net to choose? Let's put that up here. Because you're not too far off here. There you go. About web pages using that technology, the load time. They won't load when my internet router is off. So what folks have done is, including some folks like Blazor Mr. Magoo, is they set up, they set up the manifest for the page so that just like a single page application, those files are going to be cached and kept offline on your machine in the sandbox, in the web sandbox, just like the JavaScript files do. So that if your router is turned off or your phone is not online, you still have those files referenced and available locally, right? We want to have very long, aggressive cache timeouts for some of these libraries, these DLLs. And there's more coming to make those DLLs smaller, thinner, and only contain the features that you need for your application to work. It's coming, and that's what progressive web apps are for. Yeah. So, if you made sensible decisions to abstract business logic into .NET standard assemblies, you have an easy path to make user interface with Blazor. Very good point, Stelzy. Let me just put that up here. Put that on the screen right there. Yeah. If you have good architecture, it will help you. Good application architecture. Don't couple your business logic directly to your controls, to your user interface. You're going to run into this whether you're porting things to JavaScript frameworks, to Angular, to Vue, or to Windows forms, to WPF, or to Xamarin. When you need to port and you want to change just your user interface, just your user experience, if you're coupled tightly to your business processes, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a headache trying to migrate that stuff. So, all right. We are 3 followers from our next giveaway. There it is. 3 followers to the next giveaway. Oh my goodness. We'll send out stickers appropriately when we hit 9,100 followers. So tell your friends, get out there on Twitter, grab your Facebook, and drop a line to folks. Let them know that, hey, Fritz is going to give away some stickers if you click through and follow. We're doing some really neat stuff over here. So that's my model binding component, and it does the select method. Now, at some point we need to do the edit capabilities for these, but I didn't want to get too deep with having to wire up all this stuff. This is Blazor Web Form Components. Here we are. So let me add all of these features and commit this, because I think we've got the list view. It's not complete, but it's at a point where folks that want to be able to render things using their list view components, they have a decent migration strategy. It's not great, but they have a decent path that they can go through. Initial data read operations completed with select method and model binding. Right? This is going to be a process to get all of these things working properly. There it goes. So that we can be sure we have a good experience for folks that want to migrate. And me being the only one, Southern Cross, you're cruising. Having this ability to do this migration and make it easier, right? And we're just doing the simple things right now. Eventually, it might make sense to bring in some Roslyn analyzers, to bring in some features that will help folks as they're doing the migration process, because we know there are millions of web forms applications out there, and we want to make that on-ramp to Blazor as easy as possible. And I want to get a bunch of these controls done, because in February, I'm going to be speaking at Svetog. I'll make sure I pronounce that right. My Swedish friends corrected my pronunciation the other day. I'm going to be speaking at Svetog. I need to put their logo down here, in Stockholm. And I'm going to be talking about Blazor for web forms developers. I'll also be talking about it during the Blazor Day in January, the Blazor focus event for .NET Conf. Did I ever look into one of them hardware key thingamabobs for the PGP signing, says Simon Jeering. Yes, I did. And you know what? I'm just one of these people. I didn't pull the trigger and buy it yet. It's the Yuba key. I need to go out and buy one for myself. So I just haven't ordered it yet. In the middle of all the Christmas stuff that's been going on, I just haven't ordered the Yuba key. I talked to the folks at Yuba key, and they're very nice people. I need to just order. Yeah, Southern Cross, I'm not quite sure what you're trying to do here. Don't I use the brand new terminal yet? Asks Fall In. No, I don't. Nope, I don't. I don't have animated background for the terminal. Nope. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the terminal, to be perfectly honest. And this does just fine for what I need. So I'm not using it. I don't need to use it. I'd like to learn more about it, but it's not on my path to success right now. What is a Yuba key? It is one of these. So it puts all your keys, all your passwords onto this little USB device, and it'll also take your manage your PGP keys, put it out there so that when you commit code, it automatically comes off of this thing and signs your code appropriately. So it's a neat little gadget that takes care of that. Folks really like the new terminal. Very nice. Stelzy's had a Yuba key for several months and happy with it. Signed Git commits, you only have to put in the pin once in a login session. Nice. I'm looking at getting the Yuba key, I think it's a 4.5 is the one I'm looking at getting. So, yeah. Talked to them also, wanted to see if they'd be interested in doing some things with us online, and they don't quite understand the opportunity of Twitch yet. And that's okay. We'll figure that out. So, that's pushed up. It should, if I've done this right, GitHub, Fritz and Friends, there it is. It should be building for us. It's down here in this branch. Right, and I don't think I'm going to the right pipeline. Yep, that's the wrong one. Here. There we go. And it built successfully. Fantastic. From feature list view. Pass rate of 40%. Yeah, because it's just me right now. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to merge up. What do I have as the one issue? Default to yeah, I need to figure out how to do that. I'm going to merge up my changes from this feature list view branch. New pull request. And I'm going into master from feature list view. And I'm going to squash everything. when it gets merged in here. Yeah. Initial list view control with data read features. Create that as a pull request, and I'll merge it in right away. I'm not just going to create a merge. I'm going to rebase. Rebased and squash. That's what I want. Squash it and merge it. Yep. And I'm going to get rid of all this. So it's just that one commit message, which really wraps it up. Confirm that. There we go. Yep, deleted the branch. That's good, because now I just have, when I look at my master branch, right, it's just one commit that was added. Initial list view control with data read features. Fantastic. And it's building, which should build properly because we're merging it in. Oh, thank you, Johnny B. Cat. That's very kind of you. But what you should know is that...
I drink and I
No,
do things.
wrong button. No. What you should know is...
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yes. So, and anybody can...
You can do it!
Can do it. Yeah, it's really cool. Is there any chance to use a COM object from .NET Core? Asks Fall In. Ooh, wow. Look at that question. So COM is the framework that was available that folks were using with VB6 for Windows only. COM is only available, the component object model, that's what COM stands for, was available on Windows way back. And folks moved away from that when they started doing .NET. But you could still interact with COM objects going across a bridge. I forget what they call the bridge that you could call the COM objects. But it was possible to invoke them. I don't know if it's possible to do interop services with that. Is it? I don't know. System runtime interop services. Is that still a thing in .NET Core? I don't know. I haven't tried it. And it would only run on Windows. It might be part of the window. There's a Windows, what's it called? Windows Interop Kit, I think, or is that what it is? Windows compatibility, .NET Core compatibility. I think. Yeah, Windows compatibility pack. No. It allows you to interact with WCF. Haven't tried it. That's a really good question. Can we call COM objects from it? It's not in here. Let's not COM. Let's just look up interop. No, it's not in the title here. COM interop .NET Core. Is there a thing? COM interop with .NET Core. Joel Leach in 2018. Does not function in .NET Core 1. It does work with .NET Core 2 with limitations. Really? .NET Core implementation does not include iDispatch. Correct. Late binding is not supported. Interesting. All right. So give it a shot. It looks like some folks have some insight on how to do that. That was this one, Joel Leach. If you want to look at that. At VS Live 2014, they said something about making a wrapper for that. Who at VS Live said that? Because I doubt it was the .NET team, because first off, the .NET team doesn't speak at VS Live. VS Live folks don't invite the .NET team to speak at their event. So, okay, so that works. And for next time, right, isn't there a thing here? Git, checkout, master. Let me get my latest updates on everything here. Now, how do I get it to delete the other branch? Right? It should delete. If I get branch. Yeah, how do I get it to delete the other branch? Well, I can do it by hand here. There we go. So, oh my gosh, well.
Charlie Arga just resubscribed for 15 months. Jeff, you the best. Buddy.
Thank you so much, CJ Aliaga. I appreciate the sub. We'll make another donation to St. Jude. And 6 months, that's going to put you into a blue hat. Thank you so much for that support. I really, really appreciate that. But we're a little bit over on time. The next, let's just briefly talk about the next control that I want to target here. To migrate and start implementing, because I think we have a good base now that we can kind of iterate on. I think I want to do the repeater next, because the repeater is very similar in how it behaves. So I think we're going to go down into this, and I think we need to write a little bit of documentation for how the list view works. But repeater is the one that I want to start next time. All right, friends, we've cleaned up everything that we were working on here. Let's get ready, kick off a raid. You know who we're gonna raid. It's Sunday morning, and let's see if we can kick off a raid to go see our friend NoOpCat. She only streams on Sunday morning, so let's make sure we head over there. If you're a subscriber and you're in the channel, I want you to copy onto the clipboard the first statement here where it says the coding squad is here with the raid bots. If you're not, that's okay. Copy this second statement. You see it down here with the bombs, because we're gonna go in. We're gonna raid our friend NoOpCat. We're gonna say hello, encourage her to have a great day today on her stream. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate you tuning in. All of our subscribers, all of our new followers, we are right there. We are 4 followers away from ticking over to 9,100 and having another giveaway. All right, friends, take care. I'm gonna spend a little bit of my afternoon here exporting video, getting it over onto YouTube, just like this video here today. You'll find it over on YouTube if you want to go back, review, and figure out if there's other things there that we can improve. All right, friends, take care. Get ready to go see our friend NoOpCat. That's Suze Hinton. Take care.